all my rural Xers out there. This is Eric, the rural Xer, here with you on a beautiful Monday morning, about 9 o'clock, now 9:30 I should say. And we are over here at Fields of the Woods just outside of Murphy, North Carolina. This is one of the places that I'm very familiar with because I'm actually from not this area, but just south of here down in Fannin County, Blue Ridge area. And we did used to come up here some. Back then, the area that I was from was known as the tri-state area because we were very close to both Tennessee and North Carolina, and we actually lived in Georgia. But anyway, we did used to come up here from time to time and ride around or walk. It's a very well-known place, pretty well-known around here, but not a lot of other people knows about it. And I thought I'd come up here and do a little exploring and film it for y'all. This place, to give you a little background history, I'll link a website that has more information about this that Teresa had looked up yesterday and checked out and was reading to me. It originally started by one guy back in 1940. Most of the more permanent structures wasn't built until 1943. So it's been around quite a number of years. So this place is 80 years old. Unbelievable. It's been around that many years, and I'm sure it was probably more popular back then than it is now. It was built by, or I don't know if it was built by, but it's run by the Church of God of Prophecy. Is the organization that actually owns and runs it now. Now, I don't know if they were the ones who built it or not, but you can look up that information. Like I said, I'll leave a link to that website below, and you can check it out for yourself and get the background history on it. But with that being said, we're going to get out and explore a little bit, so come along and join us if you will. We're at the base of one of the mountains, one of the hills here that makes this place so prominent and was so well known for. As you can see, this is the Ten Commandments laid out in stone on the side of a hill that you can see. And it's got all of the different commandments on it. Every one of them laid out in stone. And we'll get a better shot of that from the hill across. I'll get a shot of that as well. That hill is called the, well, I'm not really sure exactly what it's called. We'll figure it out though. A warning sign down here at the bottom of the stairs for people with balance or physical impairments, because the steps have over the years have shifted and become uneven and unlevel. So you have to be pretty cautious on them, as you can see by the crumbling concrete on the stairs where they haven't been repaired over the years. And I'm sure they probably just don't have the money to do it and all. But this is the base of it, and we're going right on up to, we're going to go climb up to that little monument up there where it says Ten Commandments Mountain. We'll climb on up here. Here's some of the signage that is up here on this little monument here. Don't know if you can tell from the video, but this whole entrance, as they call it, to the Ten Commandments on the hill is leaning forward. You can tell that it has shifted over the years and hasn't been repaired. So, kind of unusual. Looks like it could topple at some point if it keeps leaning over, possibly. We're now looking over here towards what they call the Prayer Mountain, and there's a lot of monuments, as you can see, going up there. I had to stop the recording to switch cameras so it would zoom in so you could see get a better shot of that area up there of the Prayer Mountain. And we'll go over there and walk up that hill here in just a minute, but I was just wanting to get a shot of it and the other buildings that are here around. Donation box where you can donate money towards the upkeep of this place, maintenance and upkeep. Probably would be a good idea if anybody came here to give some money. We may just do that ourselves. Now the entrance of Prayer Mountain that we were looking at from across the way over there from Ten Commandment Mountain. And this is the entrance. I remember walking up this years ago when I was much, much smaller and seeing this, but I'm not really sure what all these monuments are for. We'll go up there and explore that and see what they are. And we'll swing around here now and get a shot of that Commandment Mountain behind me. There's the Ten Commandment Mountain from across the way, with the sun just coming up over the monument there at the very top of the mountain. Very beautiful. Coming up the stairs just off to the right up Prayer Mountain is this pavilion that has an airplane in it. It looks to be a Cessna 170, and this placard here tells the story of what this plane was used for. I don't think that it was directly connected with Fields of the Wood, but it had to do with Church of God of Prophecy and their quest to get the word out through dropping tracts in locations around the United States and the Caribbean. Now here's the plane itself, and to me it does appear to be a Cessna 172. My dad belonged to a flying club years ago, back in the, I think, late 50s, early 60s, that actually had one of these, and it was a tail dragger. I'm not really sure. I may be wrong. It could possibly also be after thinking about it, I think this is more like a Piper Cub. They're normally painted bright yellow with black trim, but that's, I think, what this might possibly be, is more like a Piper Cub instead of a Cessna 170. Cessna 170, even though it is a tail dragger, is side by side, where the pilot and passenger or co-pilot are sitting side by side. This is tandem, where you only have one seat up front, one seat in the back, and it's usually flown from the back, if I'm not badly mistaken. But my dad also did fly those little planes as well. But yeah, this appears to be more like a small Piper Cub. This marble placard, or granite placard I should say, that's hanging on the post of this pavilion up here gives the history of this particular airplane and how it was restored. Also off to the left going up this prayer mountain was this monument placard thing over here that gives some information about the New Testament church and its apostasy. I think these monuments are donated and erected by each state. This one is Utah. I'm just going to walk up here very slowly. This one here is Tennessee. If you want to read any of them, you can stop the video at any time and read them. North Dakota, New Mexico. I'm taking it that all 50 states are represented here. West Texas, Montana, Michigan, Wisconsin. Now we hit a landing over here. And there's this big monument over here. We'll continue on up. East Texas, Idaho, Arizona, Kentucky, Nebraska, Massachusetts, Kentucky, Oregon, and you've got another big placard over here. Continuing on up, we've got Delaware, Minnesota, Tennessee, Louisiana, Virginia, Washington, Great Reformation parts all the way up the mountain. Alabama, Kansas, adornment, and you got the Beatitudes over here. Very familiar with those. And we got the Lord's Prayer over here. And as it reads down towards the bottom, it is a gift of Alabama, from Alabama. And this is what you see when you crest the top of the hill, coming up all those stairs. Here's another monument that was just off to the right, coming up these stairs from the bottom on the Prayer Hill. Can't talk. Prayer Hill, off to the right over here. I'll just swing around here real quickly. I won't go in too much. Teresa pointed out something to me that I missed. Along that wall, just to the right of the stairs, is this wall here. It says Psalms of Praise, and it's got all the Psalms of Praise from Psalms engraved in placards along that wall there. But there's so much to see here that it's hard to catch everything. Now here's something of interest right here. This is a recreation of the tomb of Jesus Christ, where he was laid to rest after his crucifixion, and then later was raised or came back to life after 3 days, and the stone was rolled away, as you can see right there. And I think they actually had some services or something around Easter time involving this, possibly. I'm not really sure. I've never been up here then, but here's the story of it, the Garden Tomb. The tomb is a replica of the Garden Tomb in Jerusalem, which is a traditional site of Jesus' burial and resurrection. The tomb was originally owned by Joseph of Arimathea, a rich Israelite who became a believer and provided the unused tomb for Jesus' burial after his crucifixion. Thus the prophecy was fulfilled. He made his grave with the rich. And this placard over here tells the story of the resurrection itself. And this is a baptismal pool that I take it is still used to this day. And it was a gift from the Church of God of Florida in 1943. As you can see, it's a very big pool, and they may actually baptize people here from time to time. I don't know who or when, but I take it that it is still used. It's covered up right now because it's wintertime. They probably uncover it this spring and have it uncovered during the spring and summer months. Well, we're back in the truck now, and we're going to take a little driving tour of this place. We're down the lower parking lot between the two mountains, between the mountain of the Ten Commandments and Prayer Mountain towards our back side over here. So we can actually drive up to the top of both of these mountains, and you get an idea of how this place is driving around it. And actually, on the mountain behind us, there is an airfield up there, a grass strip, and my dad has actually landed up there a long time ago in a little plane. Probably hasn't been used very much in a long time, but we'll get some video footage of that, so come along and join us. All right, here we go. You can see that you're facing the Ten Commandments mountain, and we're going to swing around here and start up the other mountain that goes, or road that goes up to the top of the mountain, the Prayer Mountain. Very small road going up here, more like a private driveway than an actual road, but it is used for road. It's but wide enough that two cars can get by, barely. One of them would have to go off to the right a little bit, not much way. The other one could, coming down the mountain, could get off to the left because there's a ditch over there. I think that is maintenance area there. Back off to our right, there's a barn over there. It looks like there's some maintenance vehicles and stuff over there where they probably have a maintenance area. Now, as we crest the top of this hill, almost straight off in front of us is the field. Right there is where that airfield is, grass strip. And it goes quite a ways. Actually, it's not a grass strip, or at least that part right there in front of us is paved, and then it goes on to a grass strip right there. That would be pretty scary trying to land on this narrow of a landing field, unless you was in a very small, slow-flying plane like a Piper Cub, like we were looking at under that pavilion down there. Not much more to see up here. I showed you everything that was up here at the top of the mountain when I crested those stairs coming up. We'll go on out here and turn around and come back. I'll show you the other side, the other mountain, the top of it. From the back side, there is some like flag poles and stuff up there, some sort of a memorial or something up there. I don't remember what it exactly it was, but we'll be going over there and taking a look at it here in a little bit. We are now at the back side of Prayer Mountain. Now, I don't know if you can go down through here or not. It doesn't look like you can, no. They've got that blocked off. There must have been some sort of an access road up here, as you can see from those signs. I've got a caution sign for trucks right there straight ahead of us, and 5 miles per hour going down, but they've got it blocked off. They've got cable across it, so they must not use that anymore. It looks like it's pretty grown over now. And they've got this turnaround right here, this little loop around. So that's pretty much all of this. So I want to start the video here, and I'll start it back up when we start up Ten Commandments Mountain. Well, we've already started up the other side. I almost forgot to turn the camera back on. Teresa reminded me, thank goodness. But we're starting up on the other side, the Ten Commandments Mountain. There is some things to see on up here that I didn't walk up those stairs. I just went up halfway, or not even probably halfway, to that area that's got the little entrance monument that I stopped at, and I'm telling you what, I had my workout then. And then I went back down and went across the road and went up on the Prayer Mountain. And that was a pretty good trek up that mountain. And we're approaching the top of the Ten Commandments. And we'll stop here and I'll get out and film a little bit around here now that we're at the top. We took the easy way up here. This is the scripture of the Bible, Psalm 132:6. Lo, we heard it at Ephratah. We found it in the fields of the wood. That's where they got the inspiration for the name of this place. And this tells a lot of history on the place with pictures, but I'm not going to go into trying to read any of it. Y'all can stop it, the video, anytime you want to and read what you want. We're now looking down from the top of the Ten Commandments mountain over the rest of the place, and you can get a real good idea of how vast this place is. There's a lot here. And as you can see right there, there's a representation of the mountain where Jesus was crucified with the 3 crosses over there, right above where it says Jesus died for our sins. But and here at the top of Ten Commandments mountain is a representation of the Bible from which all other commandments or the law of God hangs. It is from Matthew 22:37 through 40. Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these 2 commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Huge sign up here. And it is huge. It doesn't look that big from the bottom, but it is huge, as you can see. We were just looking at the back side of that with all the information and history of the place with the pictures and all. Had to stop and shed my jacket because it was getting hot. The sun is out. It's getting on up into late morning. It's actually about almost 11:15, and I stopped here just to take a little bit of footage of these picnic tables up here at the top of Ten Commandment Mountain. Looks like a nice area that you could have a picnic at up here. Very nice. Okay, continuing on, we're fixing to leave the top of Ten Commandment Mountain and drive on out the road. As you can see all those picnic tables and the flags off there in the distance. But they're on up the road that you don't see from the bottom at all is another monument I've been up to a couple of times. And it's got a lot of flags flying around. In fact, I think on the approach to it, you got a lot of international flags that they put out. Now, they may not be out this time of year. We'll see. As you can tell, there's a lot of bumps in this road. I'm wondering if this thing might have been concrete at one time with expansion joints, and then they paved over top of it, because that's almost what it feels like. It's very rough up here, but I can imagine they don't have a lot of funds to do things with. And if the audio sounds a little bit different, it's because I took my jacket off and I had my little lavalier mic clipped to my jacket, but now I've had to clip it to the collar of my t-shirt, so it's right under my throat, so the audio quality may sound a little different. Now there's a few flags out here flying, but not all the flagpoles have flags on them, and the ones that are out here are very tattered, and like Teresa was saying. Now all those flags are right here to our left. I'll pull up here a little bit further, see if I can get a better shot. I'm not going to get out because don't look like there's much to see now. That being said, I think this may be in the shape of a cross. It almost appears to be in the shape of a cross. Maybe this placard down here will give some information on it as to what it is. Pull off over here and take a look. All right, the All Nation Cross, that's what this is. And I take it what this represents is all the nations that the Church of God of Prophecy are in at the time. But that is, if you looked at it from above, you could actually see that it's in the shape of a cross. They have a walkway going up to it down here. I'll pull on up here just a little bit. Sorry about the shakiness of the camera. But as you can see, there is a few flags, 3 or 4 maybe, scattered around, but not all the poles have flags on them. And the ones that are there, especially that one closest to us, which is a blue and white flag, it looks like it is torn to shreds. There's a couple of other flags that are still hung up there, but not as bad a shape as that one is. Let's zoom in a little bit more here. But like I said, there's not really a whole awful lot to see. The only way that you could actually see the cross is if you had a drone that you could fly overhead and look straight down at it. You can tell, though, that it's somewhat in the shape of a cross from here. But anyway, we're going to move on down the road. We're moving on back down the road. Hiking trails. They've got some hiking trails. And as you can see, they've got a big sign right here. Nature of the church. Habitation of God, Jews and Gentile oneness, Christian unity, Christ's prayer for the unity of all true believers. But there you go. Well, folks, that concludes our look at and exploration of Fields of the Wood here just outside of Murphy, North Carolina. We hope you enjoyed this little tour of the place and exploration. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And for more similar content, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you really enjoyed it, please consider sharing it with your family and friends out there who might enjoy seeing this. So with that said, we're going to get on out of here and on down the road. So y'all have a great day. God bless, and we'll see you in our next video.
That brings us to the end of yet another episode of the Rural Xer. We hope you enjoyed watching our deep dive tour of Fields of the Woods as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. And don't worry, I'm not going to go into the usual spiel about liking, subscribing, and sharing the video since I already did that in the outro. But do remember to check out the link below in the description to the website for Fields of the Woods for more information and history about the place. Again, thanks so much for watching, God bless, and we'll see you in our next video.